This is Terry Kurtz online reporting on Victor Valley, High Desert, and Mojave River Valley events, activities, entertainment, sports, and history.
Where were you when the world stopped turning that September day? Were you out in the yard with your wife and children, or working on some stage in LA? Did you stand there in shock at the sight of that black smoke rising against that blue sky? Did you shout out in anger and fear for your neighbor?
With that kind of spirit, the American spirit, that spirit that says, I will never give up. Someone who never gives up can never be defeated.
But I know Jesus and I talk to God, and I remember this from when I was young. Faith, hope, and love are some good things He gave us, but the greatest is love.
I know when I say that to people, some people say this is not a day of celebration. Yes, it is. America goes on, and America is stronger. And that is because of the American spirit.
Did you open your eyes, hope it never happened?
That none of us be found wanting on that day when we come to answer for what we did in response to those two words. So I say them here again. Let's roll.
Faith, hope, and love are some good things He gave us.
So remember that as we teach our next generation. That 9/11 was when the enemy took that shot at us. We looked them in the eye and we said, guess what, America's still here and we're coming after you. So remember that when you tell the people who are in charge. Never forget that we're coming after the enemy.
Did you stand there in shock at the sight of that black smoke rising against that blue sky? Did you shout out in anger and fear for your neighbor, or did you sit down and cry? Where were you when the world stopped turning that September day?
But let's talk about some positive stuff. There's some really good stuff happening.
That's how our last report ended. In this interview, Joseph W. Brady details lots of positives, specifically local projects underway in commercial and industrial development.
He says, I think we're going to have the greatest amount of growth that we've ever seen here based on what we're seeing. So let's talk about some reality. Well, Brightline's come along. We've actually talked about this quite a few times. But I will tell you, we've gotten to know the people in Brightline real well, and I'm real impressed. They are spot on. They are on schedule. They're not going to float any bonds this year. They're going to float them early part of next year. They bought the 264 acres at the southeast corner of Dale Evans and I-15. Bought and paid for $10 million, and that deal's done. They have recently bought 110 acres on the Strip in Las Vegas, not far from where the Raiders Stadium is, Allegiant Stadium is. They paid $140 million for it. That's a done deal. The original plan was to go from Apple Valley to Las Vegas, and someday there was going to be maybe the segment from Apple Valley to maybe Ranch Cucamonga. I'd be willing to bet that in 5 years you'll be going from Apple Valley to Ranch Cucamonga in the morning for work. I imagine there'll probably be a substation somewhere in Hesperia for just a logical standpoint, and that you'll get off at the Metrolink station in Ranch Cucamonga, and you'll go downstairs and you'll get into a tube, and that tube will take you, via Tesla. The founder of Tesla is doing it to the Ontario airport. I absolutely think it's real. The people behind this, there's no hype. There's no you don't sense any BS with it. Recently, we put John O'Haney in with Tapestry together with their director of governmental affairs, Greta Seafield. Tapestry is a 30-year project, $7 billion. I think that with what Brightline's doing, that it really could be a 22 to 23-year project. I think it would speed up because I think what will happen is the absorption will speed up as the price of housing just continues to rise. So I think it's a win-win for Brightline. It's great for Tapestry. Tapestry is just waiting to get their permit, I think, from Fish and Wildlife on the Joshua Tree issue. They've got that resolved and apparently paid for. I know so their grading should start within 60 days. And they'll move 10 million cubic yards. They were really hoping to have the model complex open for 6 national builders. So they have already picked the 6 national builders. They know the product types that they'll require. They'll grade 21. They'll move 10 million cubic yards. They'll put all the infrastructure in the water, the sewer, the backbone, the double purple pipe. They'll all have double purple pipe. All the homes will be drought tolerant. They'll have a big park, community center, all that. They were hoping to open up Super Bowl Sunday 2023. That might be delayed. I mean, John's really optimistic. He's also realistic, and I think that that's what they're gunning for. But at the end of the day, I think they're going to have some really good, fun announcements here in the upcoming months when they really kick this thing off. We're going to help him work with all the local media because there's a lot of small media up there. We got the big media, the Sun, the Daily Press, and Victor Valley News Group, and those guys. But it's going to be a first-class experience for anybody that moves into it. I'm excited. I'm actually looking forward to probably buying something down there ourselves. So we have a place to come to all the time as we continue to do business on that here. So Terry, the market is real. The industrial guys are back. You look at the walls that are tilted up there on I-15. You and I went on out there. They hope to have that building wrapped up by January. They've had a problem just in the global supply chain with the steel that goes on the roof. Otherwise, they would be done by, I think, November. Ken Shear and his partner Mark Malikowicz with Covington, they have 2 more deals that are right in the pipeline. And Ken told me last Friday night, he said, Joe, I think you'll see 2 more buildings completed within the next 16 to 17 months on the other 2. So now imagine you're coming down I-15, you're going north, and then eventually with the Brightline train is going to be in the middle of the freeway. So the acquisition issue is over. They're working very cooperatively. So this is what's great. You've got a private sector company working well with Caltrans and San Bernardino County Transportation Authority and everybody else that's involved. So when government and the private sector do want to work together, it happens. And I think it's really exciting. I think everybody up here benefits, and it's a win-win. I mean, Amazon's coming. The Amazon, I don't know if anybody's seen it, the Amazon distribution facility, 120,000 square feet over on Balsam, used to be the old Walmart. Okay, that is now done. If you go down Bear Valley Road and you just pass Boston, you look over, you go, what? It's a gorgeous looking building. They've improved the 9 acres behind that. It used to be the old drive-in. There's just some great things happening up here. I think that it's a time for everybody to enjoy it. I'll tell you the one question, Terry, that we get asked is, where are we in the housing cycle?
Where we are in the housing cycle on an upcoming report. Thank you for joining us this time around. Looking back, the following stories headlined local sports on this date in 2016. Mavericks hitting coach Bobby Rose explains the success of his team's hunting expedition on the eve of the Cal League playoffs.
We try to have the hitters basically hunt fastballs.
The Victor Valley Jackrabbits prepare to do battle against Hesperia's Scorpions. Sultana students conduct a week-long series of activities showing support for seriously injured Bruce Henderson. On to 2018, Sun Devils school records are set in the Battle for the Bell, edition 50. The High Desert Mavericks finished regular season play with the best record in the California League, 82 victories. The Mavericks posted the highest team batting average in the circuit, 278, and led the league in home runs with 177, 25 more than runner-up Rancho Cucamonga. As a team, High Desert led the league in hits, extra base hits, and slugging percentage, and Mavericks hitters struck out far fewer times than any other team in the league. Luke Tendler's 97 RBIs led all California League hitters. Tendler finished the regular season with 38 doubles, one behind teammate Scott Heineman for the league lead. Scott Heineman's 39 doubles leading the league, and Heineman's 96 runs scored, also the most in the league. Scott Heineman hit .303 on the year, tied with fellow California League postseason All-Star Jose Trevino for highest among Mavericks players. The offensive success of the Mavericks can be attributed to the effectiveness of hitting coach Bobby Rose in his second season with High Desert.
We try to have the hitters basically hunt fastballs and get themselves prepared to hit fastballs because most of the times they're going to see fastballs. That's what the pitchers throw most often, so we have them try to hunt that as much as they possibly can.
The Mavericks have yet to announce who will start Game 1 Saturday in the best-of-5 series for the Southern Division Championship. Week 3 of high school football features unbeaten Victor Valley taking on the Hesperia Scorpions. The Jackrabbits, under first-year coach Cy Mayava, have opened with a pair of lopsided victories. Hesperia, also under a new coach, Robert Hunter, dropped one-sided decisions to Summit and Elsinore. The battle pits Desert Sky League versus Mojave River League teams. The Scorpions have the numbers in their favor, a squad of 62 to Victor Valley's 39, but the Rabbits have two-time All-League running back Andy Garcia leading an offense that has outscored opponents 80-7 in their first two games. Sultana hosts Silverado in this week's only other matchup, pairing local teams. Defensive end Bruce Henderson, 29 in black, shown here against Apple Valley last season. Henderson was critically injured during the latest stages of the game the Sultans won against highly favored Norda Vista. Henderson sustained a helmet-to-helmet hit with just 52 seconds left on the clock. Bruce Henderson was able to get up after the hit and made it to the team huddle. He then went off the field to the sidelines and sat down. After a few minutes, the 6-foot, 190-pound senior stood back up and told the coach he was not feeling well and then passed out. He began to suffer from uncontrollable seizures. He was transported by ground ambulance to Desert Valley Hospital, where he was eventually stabilized before being flown to Arrowhead Regional Medical Center. Henderson underwent emergency surgery to reduce swelling and pressure to his brain. By midweek, Bruce Henderson was sitting up, giving the thumbs-up sign, and was taken off the ventilator. Henderson, the second leading tackler on Coach Keith Locklear's team, 2 games into the season. Sultana schoolmates are conducting a week-long series of activities to show support for Bruce Henderson. On campus, classmates attending Friday night's home game are wearing teal and putting the number 29 on one cheek and the initials BH on the other. Sultana hosts Silverado Friday. This is the app for which they play, the bell. And for Sun Devil senior quarterback Jeff Widener, number 9, the number 8 figures heavily into tonight's grand scheme of things. The 76-21 victory, the 8th consecutive bell game win for Apple Valley. For Jeff Widener, 8 scoring passes on the night. Much is made about total points scored. Was that a high priority?
I wasn't at the top of our list. The top of our list was winning, number 1. Number 2, making history. And then for the 8 years, and then the third was for the point margin. So, wasn't at the top, but we were still shooting for it.
The first Jeff Widener TD pass is caught by Chad Smith, a 51-yard scoring play. The Sun Devils firmly established their running game on this possession. Donovan Ferguson with 5 consecutive carries, the last carrying over from 3 yards out for the second Apple Valley touchdown. The first of 2 touchdown receptions for super sophomore wide receiver Tyron Smith caps the Sun Devils' first quarter explosion of 5 touchdowns in 4 minutes. The Jeff Widener to Tyron Smith touchdown is on the slant pattern, produces a 6th Apple Valley touchdown. It is from 3 yards out. The Mackenzie Lopez kick is good. She is 4 for 4 on the night, finishing the ball game with 11 successful extra point kicks in 11 attempts on the season. The next Sun Devils possession culminates with Chad Smith demonstrating his yards after catch open field running ability. The pass travels 12 yards. Chad Smith covers the remaining 31 by cutting back and outrunning the secondary. The play most likely to be remembered by most Sun Devils fans comes with 2.9 seconds before halftime from their own 46. Jeff Widener lifts a perfectly thrown pass into the wind, and Xander Witt cradles it at the 15 and sprints into the end zone. 54 yards for the touchdown. Xander Witt enters the ball game, leading the nation in touchdown pass receptions. Jeff Widener pitches quick to Donovan Ferguson, who makes an acrobatic reaction to the ball and without breaking stride, races into the end zone for point number 62, surpassing the previous high points scored total of 58 set back in 1999. The historic touchdown comes 2 minutes into the second half. Jeff Widener concludes his historic and heroic night's work with this 12-yard scoring pass to Xander Witt. For Jeff Widener, 25 completions in 33 attempts, 463 yards, the 8 TD passes, giving him 24 in 4 games. Valu Quality Truck Bodies presents these high-performance flashbacks to this date in high desert Mojave River Valley sports history. Valu Quality Truck Bodies, supporting teams, schools, and athletes throughout the Victor Valley. Victor Valley College scores on a pair of touchdown passes, a 1-yard plunge, and this pass interception in the first half, before imploding the second half and seeing Chafee overcome a 22-point deficit to beat the Rams 41-35. The sting of defeat overshadows outstanding plays on offense and defense by Rams players from local high schools. A pair of ex-Granite Hills Cougars play large. Defensive back Carlos Maharas, a pass interception. Andrew Glass, clutch touchdown reception on a 4th down call. Former Apple Valley Sun Devil Nathan Crouch, 7, huge sack, forcing the Panthers into a field goal attempt. Fellow former Sun Devils teammate Mossy Bell, a sack, forcing Chafee into another field goal try. Ex-Silverado Hawk, now Rams defensive back supreme, Dana Jenkins, punt returns, setting up a pair of VVC scoring drives. This is Marique Pitts, an 8-yard gain for a Rams first down on their opening possession. The Rams gained more rushing yards in this possession than Chafee's defense had allowed against the rush the week before against LA Harbor. On their next possession, first down at their 26, Evan Nelson unloads to Samaj Brewer, who has raced past the Panthers secondary and takes it all the way for a 74-yard touchdown. Samaj Brewer, 6'2", 180-pound freshman wide receiver from Kansas City. It is Evan Nelson to Kadeem Richards for the 2-point conversion, and the Rams take the lead 8-3. Just under 8 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Watch 7. Nathan Crouch. He sacks Chafee's quarterback on a 3rd and goal at the 8, forcing the Panthers to settle for a field goal on this first quarter possession. Nathan Crouch, 6'3", 260-pound sophomore defensive end out of Apple Valley High School. On this 3rd and 6 at their own 41, Evan Nelson hits Marique Pitts on the swing pass. Marique Pitts, 31 yards into Panthers territory to the 28. Marique Pitts, a gain of 11 to the 17. but this drive ends on back-to-back quarterback sacks that end the first quarter and begin the second. Carlos Majaras picks off the Panthers' pass and runs it back 19 yards. Carlos Majaras, sophomore defensive back out of Granite Hills. 4th and goal at the 10. Landon Rowland hits Andrew Glass on the slant, and the 6'3" wide receiver stretches to the goal line for the Rams' second touchdown. It's 14-6, VBC at 14-12 in the second quarter. Watch now for 6'5", Jeremiah Jackson, 20. He deflects the pass into the air, and Ishmael Jones runs under it, carrying it into the end zone for what goes down as a 7-yard pass interception for a touchdown. The elated Ishmael Jones is a 6'3", 230-pound freshman defensive lineman out of Coronado High School in Las Vegas. It is 20-6. Rams, a minute 36 into the second quarter. The 2-point conversion attempt from the 3-yard line, Evan Nelson rolls right and fires to Kadeem Richards, who cradles the pass just before falling out of the end zone. The 2-point conversion gives Victor Valley College a 16-point lead. Kadeem Richards is listed at 5'9", 170, a first-year Ram out of Monticello High School in New York. The Rams line up for 2-point conversion attempts following every touchdown due to the absence this day of their regular place kicker. Role reversal for Rams number 35, linebacker Mossy Bell, who sacks the quarterback on this 3rd and long. Mossy Bell was a standout quarterback at Apple Valley, throwing game-winning touchdown passes in Bell Game 47 and 48 victories his junior and senior seasons for the Sun Devils. The Mossy Bell sack has forced Chafee to try a 46-yard field goal. It sails far short, and Dana Jenkins takes it on one hop at the goal line. The former Silverado Hawk returns it 33 yards, as once again the Rams' defense rises to the occasion in what is becoming a dominating performance in the first half. This is a time-consuming, run-oriented drive that leads to the Rams' 4th touchdown. Evan Nelson carries for 4 yards to the 1. Evan Nelson, 6'3", 185-pound sophomore out of Crescenta Valley High School. On 4th and goal at the 1, Darius Burgos burrows to the goal line. Is he in? Sebastian Sanchez, 72, cues the referee's call. Sebastian Sanchez, 6'2", 285, a sophomore from Mission, Texas. 6 points, Rams. Darius Burgos, 6'1", 210-pound freshman from Richmond, Virginia. The Rams take a 22-point lead into the Hawk Stadium locker room at the half, but this is the last time we see a pleasant expression from 19-year head coach Dave Hoover this night. The Rams do not score again until the final minute of the ball game. A touchdown set up by this outstanding pass reception by wide receiver Bernard Marshall, whose diving catch brings Victor Valley all the way up to the 11, a 55-yard reception. Bernard Marshall, freshman wide receiver from Miami. On 4th down and goal at the 7, Evan Nelson hits Kadeem Richards for the touchdown, giving Victor Valley College 34 points and their 3rd touchdown scored on a 4th down play. Darius Burgos scores the 2-point conversion. Problem is Chafee comes out the second half and scores 35 unanswered points, and the Panthers escape with the 41-36 victory. We could rationalize by saying the ball just does not bounce Victor Valley's way the second half. For sure, the Rams' defense, though, is not at greater fault for the second half breakdown. 3 Chafee touchdowns are scored on Rams' offensive turnovers, 2 pass interceptions for touchdowns, and another 6 points when a high snap in punt formation sails into the end zone and is recovered by Chafee. A Rams offense that scored 3 first-half touchdowns is inconsistent as well as mistake-prone the second half. Outstanding second effort here by Marique Pitts, whose 51 yards on 12 carries leads VBC ball carriers this game. 3 Rams defenders top the tackles chart this game with 6 stops. 6'5", Jeremiah Jackson. Remember, he blocked the pass interception by Ishmael Jones for a touchdown. 3 solo tackles. Jeremiah Jackson, a 220-pound freshman from Las Vegas. Watch for 5, Christian Roper. He comes in to polish off the quarterback, tripped up by Lucio Monroy. Christian Roper, 6 tackles this game. Add 9 the week before. The freshman linebacker from New Jersey leads the team with 15 tackles in 2 games. The Rams have their share of bad breaks, too. Ishmael Jones blocks this Panthers punt, but Chafee is called for illegal procedure before the snap, nullifying the play. Dana Jenkins is the 3rd Rams defender in on 6 tackles on the night, 4 of them solo tackles. Lucio Monroy, 44, and Braxton Victor, 47, combined to throw the ball carrier for a loss on this play. The Rams have road games at Southwestern, then Santa Ana, before returning home September 29th to host the Santa Monica Corsairs. Griner Buick GMC in Victorville brings you Victor Valley College Rams action highlights. Griner, the best damn used cars, period. Griner Buick GMC, proud to support Victor Valley College sports teams and Rams activities. Oak Hills, Granite Hills, Apple Valley, and Barstow, winning teams coming out of Week 3 of high school football's 2021 season. Serrano, Victor Valley, and Sultana suffer their first setbacks. Silverado, Adelanto, and Hesperia's Scorpions continue their quest for win number 1. The Oak Hills Bulldogs' victory over Palmdale extends the outset of the coach Robert Metzger era to 3 straight in the win column. Quarterback Andrew Garcia ran for 1 touchdown and passed for another in the home field win over the Falcons. Apple Valley gets 2 rushing touchdowns apiece from Jaden Max Denigal and Caleb Most in upending favored Murrieta Valley, a team ranked in the top 20 in CIF Southern Section. Granite Hills gets 4 Cameron Smith touchdowns the first half, and the Cougars' defense turns turnovers into points on the scoreboard as coach Alex Gonzalez troops turn away Arroyo Valley 47-0. The homecoming win, the 3rd straight Cougars victory to open the season. Granite Hill's offensive line totally dominated the visiting Hawks, continually opening gaping holes for Cameron Smith. He will carry 16 times for 154 yards in his debut. The Cougars' defense was even more daunting. 4 forced turnovers in the first half alone. The most damaging, this blocked punt by Adam Espinoza. The 230-pound senior scoops it up after blocking the punt and scores for the 2nd Cougars touchdown of the game. With 22 seconds on the 2nd quarter clock and the Cougars taking over at the Hawks 38, Byron Rivas hits Theodore Wiggins on the middle screen pass, one of Coach Alex Gonzalez's favorite play selections, and Granite Hills goes to the locker room with a 41-0 lead. The Cougars go for a 4th straight win when they journey to Sultana next. Terry Kurtz here, throwing out an invitation for you to catch up with High Desert Sports activities. Your High Desert Sports Report, showing 3 times every day on Victor Valley TV. 7 and 11 every morning, 4 every afternoon.
What time is it, sports fan? It's time for your High Desert Sports Report.
Your half-hour High Desert Sports Report, the area's only video action highlights coverage of high school athletes, teams, and sports programs, Victor Valley College Rams, and Barstow College Vikings athletic events. We hope you'll join us right here on Victor Valley TV. Terry Kurtz Online was brought to you by Down Home Grill in Victorville on the corner of Bear Valley Road and Ridgecrest Road.
So.
Bid fast and last. World-class auctioneers. Griner Buick GMC in Victorville. Griner has the best damn used cars, period. Howard's, supporting and promoting the schools and civic programs throughout our high desert. Valu Quality Truck Body, family owned and operated since 1954. The Bradco Companies, our area's longest standing full service commercial brokerage firm. Iwanzak Law Firm, trial lawyers for serious problems. And by the Community Table Restaurant in the Holiday Inn in Victorville. The Holiday Inn, favored destination for travelers and visitors to the Victor Valley.